brilliant crowd and share my story and my thoughts. I should also admit that when I first got this call, I was a bit skeptic because I'm not really somebody who's very much into celebrating specific days, and particularly about Women's Day, I have some serious reservations. Don't judge me yet, let me clarify. I'm not against celebrating Women's Day. Of course, I understand why it's needed, what's the main essence of it, what it means to achieve. And of course, I fully support and completely understand that we do need a specific day so that we can remind everybody yet again and raise awareness and talk about all the issues that relates to women, our rights and our entitlement. But having said that, I often think that we kind of make this day, we kind of bypass these main issues, and we make this day all about hating men. It's my personal view. I don't take men as my enemy or competition. I think I only compete with myself, nobody else. But I think men and women both are needed in this world. And God, if you believe in God or nature, whoever you think, created both men and women with some specific characteristics, with some specific strengths and qualities and features. And I think these things, they make us very unique to each other. They don't make us superior or inferior to each other. So blaming each other will not really take us anywhere. And all my qualities, they make me very unique. And I think the idea of giving up my uniqueness to become somebody else, it's ridiculous. I don't know why would I do that. But at the same time, I do also understand where this frustration and cynicism and this aggression comes from. We do live in a patriarchal society where most of the social norms and cultural rules and regulations were set by men. And very often, they don't really go for our advantage. So yes, while we're talking in this room today, there are so many young girls, as Noel also mentioned, who do not have access to education because their family thinks their girls will marry them off. Why do we need to educate them? Girls don't have access to basic hygiene. Women are forced to abort because their unborn child is a girl. Women are living through domestic violence because they don't have the financial means or the support to get out of that. Women who are completely capable, willing, cannot pursue their career or their education because their family will not give them the minimum support. So there are countless examples, and yes, these are frustrating, and it is kind of normal that sometimes we will think we had enough. But that is my whole point. I think these are the issues that we need to focus on. These are the issues we need to find solutions for. We need to work together, and maybe it was very difficult for the generations before us, but now, these days, because of this digital era, it's so easy to access information, access facilities. As Tasfia was mentioning, training women, reducing that gender gap, these things are becoming easier. So I think if we all work together, it is possible to actually work towards a world where men and women will have equal rights to education, will have the freedom to choose when they want to get married, if they want to have kids, will have freedom to balanced mental and physical health, and that is what we should concentrate on, and only then these days will mean something. I was asked to give you my story, my challenges and obstacles as a woman. Honestly, I don't have a very fancy story to tell you, so I'm a very ordinary person, I come from a very ordinary background, and I live a very ordinary life. But so rather than giving you that story, I'll give you some traits that I think makes my ordinary life extraordinary for me. The first trait I want to talk about is having confidence in yourself. It is of utmost importance. I'm the first child of my parents, and as a firstborn, obviously I share a very special bond with both my parents. And I was never treated as, my gender had nothing to do with that. I'll be very honest with you. I was never told that I can do something, or I should do something because I'm a girl, or I cannot do something because I'm a girl. I have a younger brother. My mother taught both of us how to cook at a very young age. I learned how to fix a flat tire from my father when I was really young. So our roles were never gender specific. I was really young when the first time I was traveling abroad all by myself. I was going to Vietnam. I was chosen as a volunteer to participate in an environmental project. I've never traveled outside the country all by myself before, so I was a little nervous. My father, he kind of explained the whole situation, what the airport will, what will happen, how do you check in, where do you drop your luggage and things like that. And I told him, what if I get lost at the airport? And my father, he just looked at me and he said, airports are such a big place, but they have signs everywhere, and there are people everywhere. So even if you try, you will not get lost. And even if you do, you'll find your way. He could tell, he could have told me that, yes, be very careful, otherwise you'll get lost. He didn't do that. He gave me the confidence that even if you get lost, you'll find your way. Till today, whenever I'm faced with an unfamiliar situation, whenever I think that I don't know how to deal with something, I remember his words like, I know that I'm smart enough that if I put my mind to it, I'll find my way. So having that confidence in your own capability is really important. The second trait, take responsibility of your life. I grew up in Bangladesh, so most of my experience and my thoughts are probably more relatable to the culture and to the lifestyle over there. I've seen that many women kind of wait for others to make decisions for them. As you said, you need to know what you want, but then you need to kind of take responsibility for it if you want the steering wheel of your life to be in your hand. I've seen women thinking, banking, insurance, mortgage, they're too complicated. I don't like these things, my husband deals with them. If you think you're of same intellect, get involved, make yourself count. You make decisions as well, you make your opinion valued. I was 28 years old. I was working in one of the topmost multinationals in Bangladesh. I was working for HSBC, the bank. I was already leading a team of 18 people. I was part-time doing my master's in business administration. But even at that time, I thought, I want to explore more. I don't want to confine myself within these boundaries. So I applied, and I got myself a full scholarship so that I could come to Australia and do my master's in international business. I went to Monash University at that time. But people who are familiar with our culture, 28 years old, single women, leaving home, going to a different country, living all by herself, are you crazy? I mean, you're making her overqualified, and you will never find a suitable guy for her. Those were the problems. But I knew that, no, this is something I want to do with my life. So I took the responsibility, I made that decision. And taking responsibility doesn't mean you do whatever you want. In fact, that also means that you are more focused and more motivated and more accountable for the decisions you're making. So it's important. Finally, the final trait I want to talk about is being respectful. If you want respect, you have to give respect as well. We often kind of confuse being respectful to being weak, but that's not the case. If you are confident, you can be firm and respectful. I have an amazing husband. Sorry, I'm just kind of talking about him here. But one of the things he told me when we were getting married is from today onwards, we either win together or we lose together. There's no winning without each other. I think because of that motto, we have a very strong relationship. Does that mean that we don't argue or we are in agreement in everything? No. He's a man, he annoys me every day. But the point is, make is that even when that happens, we can sit together, we can place our arguments, we can talk about it, and throughout these years that has always helped us find a solution. We always found a way. And that's not only about your relationship with your partner. For any relationship, being respectful is of utmost priority. I'm working as a corporate planning and policy officer at the moment in East Arnhem Regional Council. One of my responsibilities is to design our annual plan, what we're going to achieve next year. And for that, I have to pretty much interact with, starting from the CEO to all the directors and managers at all levels of different countries, different culture, needless to say, mostly men. But being firm and respectful has always helped me achieve what I wanted to achieve. So you can be firm and not rude, and you can be respectful and not weak. I think those are very different things. So I think I'm beyond my time limit, so I'm gonna finish. I think that's enough from me today. Thank you again for having me today, and here's to a bright, beautiful, and harmonious future where both men and women can coexist and complement each other and reach their full potential. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Those words are amazing and motivated as well.